So thank you both for joining us today. If you could just maybe start by telling us your name and the film that you have in the festival this year.
연애담 Our Love Story라는 영화를 만든 이현주라고 합니다.
So my name is Hyunju Lee, who directed the film named Our Love Story.
Perfect. And can you tell us a little bit about the film?
이 영화는 두 여자의 사랑 이야기이면서 한 사람을 만나면서 성장해가는 어떤 여자에 대한 이야기이고요. 되게 일반적인 그냥 연애 이야기라고 보시면 될 것 같아요.
So it's a love story in between these two women, and by going through this relationship, one woman grows up as a woman, and it's a very conventional love story.
Conventional love story, but between two women. Right. So you wrote this film. Can I ask where the story comes from, or where did the inspiration come from?
사람에 대해서 원래 그러니까 사람과 사람 간의 관계에 대해서 관심이 굉장히 많았고, 그러다 보니까 이제 그런 것이 가장 극명하게 나타나는 게 연애라고 생각해서 단편부터 그런 작업을 많이 하다 보니까 자연스럽게 이렇게 만들게 되었습니다. 네.
I was always curious about, she was always curious about relationship in between people. So it wasn't any specific event or occasion that inspired her to write this. But from writing her short story to writing this feature film, it was very like a natural connection that she wanted to write something very ordinary and very conventional. So very conventional love story in between two people.
And how has the film been received by Korean audiences and by international audiences? Has there been a difference?
Okay, so this film actually premiered in Jeonju International Film Festival back in Korea. So it was actually a Korean audience who first saw the film. And since we weren't really used to having films about lesbianism or homosexual people, so when we premiered here, I feel like the audience did not really understand how close-minded Korean society was towards this film yet, because in North America it's more open, and we have here a history of legalization in the marriage in between lesbians and LGBT community. So I think that's a little different. That's the difference between the Korean audience and the audience here.
Absolutely. And so what sort of conversation are you looking to spark with this film? What do you hope people will talk about?
So the target audience was actually Korean people for this film, and I just wanted to show people in Korea about these ordinary, regular two females, and I wanted to show that these people weren't any different from the ordinary people. So that's what I wanted to show throughout this film.
그래서 그러니까 그러다 보니까 이게 어떤 연애에 대한 어떤 것도 굉장히 이렇게 처음부터 끝까지 이렇게 차곡차곡 좀 어떻게 보면 조금 지루할 수도 있게 보이겠지만 어쨌건 그냥 그런 것들을 다 가감없이 보여주고 싶어요.
So because I wanted to show them very in a conventional way, I focus on their relationship from the beginning to the end. Kind of accumulating over time, so it may seem a bit boring in throughout the film, but I just wanted to show everything in a realistic way.
Absolutely. When you were casting the film and you were looking for the right actresses to play the leads, was that difficult at all, or what was that conversation like with the actors?
So out of the two actresses that I work with, one I already work with her short film, and the other one we auditioned to find the right person. And before we posted the audition, I just briefly included the short synopsis. I just wrote down that this story was about two women in love, and I think the actresses had more difficulty acting with the range of emotion rather than acting in to be like lesbians. So I think the parts of it, the emotional part was more difficult for the actresses to act out throughout the film.
Great. So you said you made this film really for a Korean audience, and it pushes a lot of Korean values in terms of, you know, attitudes towards homosexuality and lesbianism. What sort of words of encouragement do you have for, say, Korean audiences to really, you know, get out there and to be challenged by a film like this and to see something that's different than what they would normally see in their big, you know, movie theaters?
이게 메시지를 준다라는 거는 되게 거창한 것 같고요. 이게 이렇게 굉장히 동성에 대한 이야기를 다루지만 어떻게 보면은 이렇게 그런 되게 사적인 그냥 어떤 사람에 대한 이야기이기 때문에 메시지라기보다는 그냥 어딘가에, 그러니까 한국에선 잘 모르거든요. 그러니까 그런 어떤 커밍아웃이나 이런 것들을 거의 하지 않기 때문에 내 주변에 있다라고 생각을 잘 못해요. 굉장히 외로워하는 삶을 사는 사람들이 많은 것 같은데 어딘가에 그런 사람이 또 있다. 뭐 그런 거, 위로 뭐 이런 거.
So throughout with this film, I wanted to encourage people so that they could think about those people who are not publicly coming out or saying about their identity, because there are those people who are going through some difficulties, but having very lonely lives. But because they are not coming out the surface, people have no idea, and so people. So with this film, I wanted people to kind of look around and to think about other people's lives.
Very fascinating. Well, best of luck, and thank you so much for stopping by today.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay.